Recent reports of abuse in schools and widespread social outcry of young girls and boys being abused within the school premises. Cast members of South Africa's first dance film, Hear Me Move, are embarking on a star-studded Hear Me Move Educational Theatre Schools tour. This 10 schools tour coincides with the 16 days of activism against the abuse of women and children, and also on the other hand to raise awareness on silence surrounding abuse happening in our schools. To tell us more about this initiative, we joined in our studios here by the producer Wandile Mlibazi and the director-writer Lwazi Lubanzi-Mthembu. Good morning to both of you and thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed. This is a good initiative, of course, for a good cause.
Yeah.
But why did you see the need to, use dance in all of this?
I think it literally was a response. Paul Mujaji just came into the office one day and was like, guys, we need to respond to what we're seeing. I mean, we had seen headline after headline about teachers and security guards doing all kinds of unsightly things to girls. And we're like, let's use theatre and dance to respond to this problem.
Paul was just like, okay, we've got an opportunity, we've got young people's attention, we've got to say something. And I thank Paul every day for doing that, because it would have just been another musical that just didn't mean anything. But now actually going to schools and actually touching young people and getting them to talk about something that's kind of difficult to talk about,
It's an unbelievable thing, and certainly for you, it must take on a different meaning when there's a social message involved in something.
Definitely, dude. And for us as content creators, like something like this is so important because Hear Me Move is cool, Like people have said it's cool, and now we're using that cool thing to speak about something that's kind of tough.
I mean, one of the things that we realized with the film Hear Me Move is that young people engage with popular culture, I guess, for lack of a better word. And when you give them a context which they can feel themselves and talk about their problems, they open up. And what we realized very soon is that we're dealing with a very heavy subject matter. And we need to get people like Kwanele and Enough Is Enough, Moho campaign to help us deal with some of the things that would come out. The idea really is that after the 16 days, we want to do 365 days of activism, because it's not really about the singular campaign. It's about having a prolonged program to deal with the problem.
We went into townships and rural areas. And I realized how dry these areas are in terms of resources, in terms of access to information, in terms of a voice, actually.
I mean, sexual violence against young women and children in this country is borderline demonic, man, and so to get like the IBIS reproductive people on board, get us in culture, to actually get us to talk to young people about it is key, because otherwise we just carry on like everything's fine, and it's not.
Black women are important to me, and I just saw that there's just a plight, man, from top down, from bottom up. It's just
there.
Gooby.
It is really challenging, and becoming that conduit to give people an opportunity to have voice and to give people access is remarkable.
And it was important for us to realize that actually we speak to the boy child as well, that it can't just be about how girls are experiencing this violence. There's a perpetrator who we need to speak to, and it was quite a big decision and quite bold, and we're just so thankful that the principals in Gauteng have been so welcoming of it, because to start talking to boys about it is quite a change, to actually say, guys, ultimately we're perpetrating the violence. And it's heavy.
Not all men are trash. Your dads are trash. So were you bumping up against those defenses from boys or the teachers?
Big time, because also the way that you communicate it is quite key. And one thing that we're very clear on from the onset, that we want to be empowering. We don't want to be like, you guys are bad. Girls wear miniskirts and therefore don't touch them. It was like, let's actually engage with people under the age of 18. Let's talk. Like, what's going on, guys?
Okay, so what's the age range of people that you were interacting with at these schools?
So we're looking at high schools.
Okay.
Senior high, but we did have a session with grade 8s and 9s. For me, the younger it got, the scarier.
Why?
The scarier
What do you
it was.
mean?
I realized that a lot of the boys resonated with our abusive character.
You try so hard to host Linda when you've ended up just like him.
I'm comparing over.
I'm not
my father.
Hear Me Move was a dance film, a love story.
Yes.
It was setting the scene of what urban life is as a young black person. And so now you have adapted this and written something new. So tell us the story. Tell us the Hear Me Move educational tour story.
So it still follows the Sputwa Nation dance crew. So we picture we're younger and we have a Busi character who is dating a Dariana, who's our blesser character. And he's actually not that much older. And we did that purposefully so that, you don't think that your blesser is 40.
Yeah.
Think that your blesser could be, I'm in grade 10 and he's working. He's out there hustling. So he's a hustler
21,
as well.
22, even 19 years.
Yep.
Yes.
It could be really close to you, but then it's how you navigate your relationship that makes the blesser
and
culture.
the power dynamic, I suppose, what you bring. Okay, so then they meet and they have a blesser, yeah?
Yeah, so we essentially follow these two, Busi and Dariana, and how the dance crew then tries to save Busi and presents a different kind of world for her, because we have a character who's Ora, who's our love interest, who presents a different kind of masculinity.
What is this different type of masculinity?
All right, so he's not the kind who's going to drag her out of rehearsal and stop her from living her dreams. He's the kind who's like, what do you want? And he's not like, yo, homie, I'm going to take you from Dariana, let's fall in love right now. He's just like, I need you to be okay.
What's cool about it is that it shows that if you take the initiative, and you start to build momentum, other people start buying into it.
Yeah.
If we speak about active citizenship, if we speak about people taking their talents or doing the things that they do, but sort of impacting the country in a more positive way, what role do you think you play in South Africa?
My role is to, one, encourage young people to celebrate their coolness, their local coolness. Not that like we're trying to adopt something else. At Coastal, we believe that global African excellence is our mission. We're going to celebrate the coolness of Africa, and we're going to share it with the world and with Africa itself.
Maybe you guys should come back once in a while. We should have, the Hear Me Move conversation.
Hey, man.
And I think those conversations need to start happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to do it.
We don't.
So we need the experts to come and help us out.
And the thing is probably it's sort of like scary and empowering as well.
Yeah.
When you realize how many people want to talk.
Yeah.
You realize that, okay, this is serious. Like you get calls or you get people sending you tweets and you're like, hey, how do I cope with this?
Yeah.
But if we don't tackle it head on, guys, we're in trouble.
Info@coldstove.co.za. More information about Hear Me Move, the educational theatre tour. Wandile Mulibadzi and Lwazi, our writer and director. Shout out to you, shout out to you, shout out to you. Love you so much for the work that you are doing.
Thank you for the invite.
I hope this flies higher and higher.
You don't count on your surroundings, you don't count on how you grew up. That determines the kind of man you're going to become. So you can't blame the situation or you're growing up and say, nah, endly, I saw mama hitting dada, that's why I'm like this. No, gents, it doesn't happen like that. And ladies, take care of yourselves. Love yourselves enough to walk away. It's okay, you don't need about Ariana to get you far in life. Stay in school, educate yourself, better your talents, whatever you have. So I hope that answers your question. It's not a wise thing to stay in a relationship that hurts you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a boyfriend and girlfriend. It could be your friends. It could be your teachers. It could be your dad, your mom. If love hurts, it's not love.